Hello, Digestible listeners, and welcome back to the Digestible podcast, where we give you all the health and wellness information you need in an amount of time that your busy day can handle. And we make it easily digestible. I am Staci, along with my co-host and sister, Melissa, otherwise known as Missy. And today we are celebrating our 1-year anniversary. Happy birthday to us.
Happy anniversary. Yay.
Yes.
And thank you to all of our listeners who have stuck with us, who have joined us, who have shared us. We're so grateful to you.
Absolutely. And if you enjoy what we put out for you and you feel like it's beneficial, please share us. We do this for you. We wanted to really bridge the gap between the snippets you see and learn about on social media, which may not have all the content you need, and, the really long podcasts that for a lot of people are just too science heavy or just too time consuming, and maybe they don't want to read the latest book. So we're here to bring you the experts and give you the health and wellness information that you need with a little bit of understanding and like a takeaway or two so that the information is accessible.
Right. And then you know how to act on it right away. You can do something right away. We've enjoyed it so much and we can't wait to bring you more. So please share us with others. Let us know what you haven't heard that you'd like for us to bring to you. So what we thought we'd talk about a little bit today on our anniversary edition is some of the things that Staci and I have started to incorporate into our lives that we've learned while doing this podcast for you. So Staci, let's start. What are some things that you're doing now, or some things that have sort of reinforced what you've already been doing that made you feel, great?
Yeah. So most of you know that my regular workspace is in the integrative and functional space. And so having integrative and functional physicians on, I think is great. It introduces people to that concept if they're unaware, but also reinforces the things that I know to be true. The medical grade supplements. We've brought on a bunch of different representatives from different brands talking about the benefits of using higher quality supplement brands for things that you're going to be putting in your body every day and making sure they're dosed therapeutically. That's something I do on a daily basis. But talking to those people always reinforces that. But I would say red light's a big part of my life. And I loved having Dr. Abby on from Fringe. I do the red light mask. Is it reversing my aging?
Oh,
those of you on YouTube?
Totally. It is.
And I do it for my back. My lower back is one of my spots. Everyone has a spot on their body. And so I do that sometimes at night in bed on the back. It feels amazing.
Yep. I do it on my lower back too. And actually I've been sharing my red light wrap with my husband, with my stepdaughter. Because it's really great. It's been wonderful. And I loved Abby's part about getting daylight into your eyes every day, every morning. Getting that early morning sun to set your circadian rhythm. I've been doing that. And I've been looking forward to that every day. It's been really,
Especially this
great.
time of year when it's lighter earlier. So it's easier to wake up. It's easier to get the sunlight in.
Yeah.
What are some other things that we've been doing, Missy?
Okay, so I loved when we had Mark Payaris on. We've had him on twice. He was so great. The whole idea of, Staci had mentioned this earlier, tech neck, so the way we sit at our computer, but also motion is lotion. I've been saying motion is lotion all over the place.
Yes.
When people say that things hurt, I'm like, motion is lotion.
Yes.
So
love Mark. He's a fountain of such good information, and hopefully we'll have him back again in this next upcoming year for some new topics.
He was the physical therapist for those of you who may be just joining us. He's a physical therapist and talked about just everything from how we sit, how we move, how we exercise, the things that we should be doing to help prevent injury, things like that. So he was fantastic.
Our first episode, Mary Purdy, which just was reinforced by then Pete at Iron and Acre and, regenerative. I was already primarily buying organic whenever possible, but now I know to look for that extra piece. How are the farmers, treating their soil? Are they growing regeneratively? And then compassionate world farming, how are the animals being treated? I try to be a very compassionate and educated shopper now, more so. And now I ask questions at the grocery store, which I never would have been brave enough to do if Julia hadn't been just ask. I was like, oh, I guess that's their job, is to answer my questions.
I've been to the customer service desk a couple times at the Whole Foods I go to request things, and they're really respectful when you ask and when you offer, when you ask for things and tell them what you're looking for. But I also am the same. So I remember Julia from Compassion in World Farming saying that regenerative is their North Star. And that is really about, when the soil is healthy, the animals are healthy, the plants are healthy. And so I feel like we've been seeing more and more products that are claiming to be regenerative and hopefully are also certified. So we know for sure that the marketing claims are real. But yeah, it is sending a market signal: buy regenerative, buy organic, and the stores will bring us more, and the farmers will go, oh, I can sell it if I grow it this way. So we got to keep doing that for our health and just, to fix our food system. So I think the great thing about having people like Mary on, Julia, Mary and Nessel, it's basically just to say, you know what, it isn't too complicated, but we have to encourage that, our farmers, our policymakers to support soil health so that our food is as healthy as it used to be, because it just frankly is not. It's one way we've gone backwards.
We had Glyphosate Girl on.
Yes.
She was amazing. And so I really do talk to people a lot about organic oats and organic wheat.
Yes.
Heritage is better, but to know how much they're spraying on these crops just to dry them out even, it's just don't eat those. Don't eat them.
Well, and Staci and I were just at a conference for the Personalized Lifestyle Medicine Institute, and the scientists who were this was a very science-heavy conference, they were referring to glyphosate and some of the pesticides that is in our food as potential toxins that can interrupt processes that keep our brain healthy and our gut healthy. So this isn't just a fringe, movement. This is really something that everyone's paying attention to. So yes, Glyphosate Girl was a great guest. By the way, she sent out an email this week, because I got on her email list, to ask our representatives to vote for something that's to go into the Farm Bill that will protect people who are exposed to pesticides. And I did email my representative, and she actually wrote me back and says, I'm voting for it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I should get on her mailing list. I didn't realize I was supposed to do that. You're supposed to tell me those things, Miss.
I'm sorry. I should have told you. Everybody, email Glyphosate Girl, Kelly Ryerson. You can get on the list if there's anything coming up for a vote that's going to help our food systems. She will send you an email. And she doesn't send a lot. She really doesn't. So that was great.
I'm going to go sign up for her list after this.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the list goes on and on of the amazing guests we've had in our first year. How about Ethan Cross?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, do you think he's writing another book?
Oh, I'm sure he's got to be. I mean, people really love his stuff because, if as a reminder to our listeners, he talked about how we talk to ourselves.
We talked about both books. We talked a little bit about chatter, but mostly about shift. And it's how you talk to yourself and having tools in your toolbox. I walked away changing how I talk to myself in my head.
Right. For sure.
Yeah.
No, he was great. And then we had on, one of the more recent ones I really enjoyed was Terry Arietti for executive functioning. And I used that 75 ping pong ball imagery with people afterwards. And they're like, oh my God, yes, I feel that way sometimes. And, I'm like, well, then you got to listen to this episode because she had some great tips.
Yeah, she was phenomenal. We got a lot of great feedback on her. And I use the tip a lot actually at work, where it's 25 minutes on, 10 minutes off, but the 10 minutes off isn't really free time to look at your phone. It's off into a different activity. So I've been using that 10 minutes to clean out my inbox, which is one of those things that hangs over your head, but you can't really sit and do for hours and hours. So I'll work on something and I'll be okay, 10 minutes on the inbox. Back to what I was doing, 10 minutes to the inbox. So I feel I'm actually making headway with that inbox, which is beast.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And it's should I unsubscribe to all these things? And then I end up subscribing to other things. So before I know it, I've got, emails. And then, of course, there's work emails. So,
right.
And those require a lot more attention, but to not have it cluttered with all the stuff we really don't need to read. Yeah. It's nice to be able to do that. So that is it. That was a good one. 25 on your focus stuff and 10-minute breaks to push other things forward that don't require the same skill set that your brain was using for that 25 minutes.
She was so good. Everybody needs executive functioning help these days.
I know.
And we had some great menopause, I guess, and menopause episodes. We
Mm-hmm.
had Maureen,
Mm-hmm.
we had Dr. Amy Broad. We had, yeah, we learned so many great things about how our bodies are changing and how um, the men's bodies are changing, and also like what to do, what to know.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah. Well, and I,
it's
I
really
think
good.
what also helps is that understanding what's normal, and so much of what you're experiencing at this stage in our lives, if you're, early 40s to early 50s, it could really start as early as the mid 30s for some people. This stuff happens, and there's things that we can do about it. And thank God we can do hormone replacement. Most of us can, again these days, because that's really been a lifesaver. But I gotta tell you, one of the things that we've learned about understanding the help that vaginal estrogen brings as we age. Do you know? So I
Yes.
have I have a friend who's around 80 years old. She's a lovely human. And I was telling her about vaginal estrogen because of how common UTIs, urinary tract infections, can be as you age. And she says, "Oh my gosh, I've been dealing with that lately, and I didn't understand why." And I explained to her the estrogen receptors being in our urethras. And so I think she really appreciated that. But there's just all this great new information,
Yeah.
and we can all, you know, implement and benefit from it.
And most recently, we had Dr. Breskin and Catherine, who are, with ketamine and the death doula. Those were
Mm.
two really great podcasts because death is scary. And the older we get, the more people are getting sick and dying and all those things. And it's like, I just met two lovely humans who make death less scary and let you
Mm.
know that there's options for when and if you get sick, or how you want to die. And like, I don't think people think about that or talk about that. They kind of just push those feelings down, and then something comes up and they freak out. And it's like, oh, there are resources. So I really liked that.
Yeah, that reframing was also very helpful to me. I actually had someone, a friend of mine, tell me that she loved that episode, and she referred it to someone else who she thought would be an excellent death doula. So I'm just so glad that people are hearing us and hearing our guests, and making pivots,
Absolutely, the
because the pivots
pivots.
are what it's all about.
Yeah. Oh, how about our mushroom guys? We still have so many
Oh,
listeners that are taking the medicinal mushrooms. That was a
yes.
great two-part series. So educational.
Yes, I am now taking medicinal mushrooms as needed. I try to remember to take lion's mane almost every day for my brain health, because at our conference, that was one of the adaptogens they recommended. And I do the cordyceps if I need to focus in the afternoons. And the reishi's great when I just need to just relax a little bit, but I don't want to like have a drink. I just need my nerves to just sort of chill.
Yeah.
The reishi's great for that.
Turkey
So
tail, immune system, anti-cancer, all those things. Yeah, so many
grateful.
good medicinal mushrooms out there, and so many more that we didn't even touch on. We just, touched on the main ones that people hear about most often. But there's like a
Yes.
whole world of medicinal mushrooms out there.
Yes, 100%. And then we had Ashley Koff, who is working on a new book, so we're going to have her back.
Yeah.
And she was fantastic because she talked about the pillars of a healthy diet, right? And,
Mm-hmm.
and eating well. And I love her anecdotal stories are fantastic. We heard some more at the conference we were just at. She was fantastic. I actually shared one of them. Can I share it here?
Sure.
Okay, so this is from Ashley Koff. So she had a client who was working on weight management, weight health is what Ashley likes to call it, which we love. And she was saying that she was trying to shorten her eating window, and she was eating more of a healthy dinner later in the day. But to get her through the day, she was snacking on miniature Reese's peanut butter cups. And not that we're condoning necessarily eating sugar during the day. This was just the story she shared with us. But her client said, I ate like six to seven to get me through the day. And Ashley suggested, it's really important that we enjoy our food and recognize, like, what would you rate it as a 1 to 10 in your enjoyment? And if it's below a 7, what often can happen is after we've eaten a really healthy meal that we know is full of really good stuff, if we haven't gotten to a 7 in our enjoyment, we might find ourselves looking for something more. And so to make sure that you incorporate healthy food into into your meal that gets you to that 7. But for this particular woman, she said, I want you to do me a favor. Tomorrow, when you eat the Reese's peanut butter cups, pay attention to your level of enjoyment. When you get to below a 7, stop. And then let me know how many you had. And she said the next day, her client texted her and said, I hate you. And so Ashley said, okay, how many? And she said 1.5. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's crazy. I have been using that 7 number in my head now since listening to her speak. So when I'm eating something and like, you know, you go to a restaurant or like you've just made dinner and you're eating and you're just eating it because it's there. And sometimes you're not really paying attention. I'm like,
right.
Oh, if this isn't a 7, I'm not eating this.
Yeah.
So
something good to keep in mind, I feel like, you know.
I think so, especially when it comes to desserts, right? Like you should have some dessert in your life. But like, do you need to keep eating it and keep eating it? No, that first bite is usually the best part. So it's like, eat it while it's good. And then don't just keep eating it to eat it.
Yeah. Like, in fact, say to someone, take this away, I'm done. Or put it in the sink. Because you really, at that point, are just going to mindlessly be eating it and not really enjoying it like you were.
So it's that conscious. Yeah. It's being like that mindfulness eating practice.
For sure.
How about a shout out to our forest bathing guides and our Dr. Outdoors. Like we had Gail, we had Clay, and then we had our Dr. Outdoors, Dr. Melissa Sunderman.
Yes. That wonderful.
And just reminding ourselves how important it is to be outside. And now that the weather's getting nice for most of us, like grounding. Like get those bare feet in the dirt. Get those bare feet in the sand.
Right.
You know, hug a tree.
So I was in recently on a family trip, and we decided to go into this greenhouse. And, you know, when you're in a greenhouse, it's like really humid and there's just plants everywhere hanging from the ceilings. And all I kept saying to myself was, oh my God, there are terpenes all over the place. Those chemicals that they release that lower your blood pressure. I was like, oh my God, I'm just absorbing all the terpenes. So it was, you know, you just aren't always conscious. But again, things are around us in our lives every day. And some of the things are already healthy for us. And then there's things that we have to recognize, you know what? I know now that this isn't so great. This isn't nourishing me. So, you know, it's just little pivots, whether it's you're eating something like a different type of meat, right? Or now you're focusing on trying to just eat organic fruit or organic vegetables or the Clean 15, you know.
The pivot into fiber, you know, everyone's talking about fiber these days. And as we learned at the conference we were just at, like fiber really needs to be a big focus for just our gut health and our brain health. And so now, and at least I'm experiencing this as a health coach, a lot of my clients are very stressed out about how much protein to get and how much fiber to get and counting. And I'm like, you know, what happens if you just look at your plate every time you're about to eat? And look at your plate and say, like, is there fiber here and is there protein here? And then maybe you don't have to count. You can take the pressure off because that's part of it. I mean, that's one of the reasons we do this podcast is I think people feel all this pressure to do all these things, which is why we bring the experts in to be like, hey, this is why, this is what you can do. Like, let's not make it so hard.
Right. One of the things I'll do is I know of certain foods that have fiber. I know of certain foods that have a lot of fiber. And for raspberries, for example, have a lot of fiber per serving. So it's always good to diversify. But if I ever feel like, you know what, I just need some fiber, I go to my go-tos, the things that I know already. So I'm not having to like learn something new every time I need to get enough fiber. I just have a few go-tos that I know I can just lean into. And honestly, sometimes it's just as simple as, did I get a salad today? Whenever I get greens, my system just seems to be happier. And so if one day it doesn't seem real happy, I'm like, okay, that's tomorrow. I'm going to figure out a way to get some greens in there. You know,
and for some people, their gut will be happier with cooked greens, and like raw greens are not the way to go. Right. You know, so it just depends on your digestive fire. But you know, knowing your body, know what feels good. Like I think my body feels better with like cooked broccoli than a huge salad. Even though I love a huge salad, like my body prefers cooked vegetables, and that just has to do with my digestion.
You know, it's funny. I never paid attention to that. If it's cooked, if my stomach likes better cooked or raw, I guess it's because I've probably never been terribly uncomfortable with one or the other. But I know rice, for example, my system is super sensitive. So I love rice, but rice totally just slows me down. My system
Yeah.
gets slowed down. So I have to put in extra fiber in those days. But the other people who are like, doesn't do a
That's why
thing
the
for me.
rice goes with the beans or the lentils. And
Yes,
that was the other
right.
thing, like having Rachel Portnoy on, and I do love beans and lentils, but like lentils are really like the best food, right? It's a blend of protein and the fiber. So it's, you get 2 for 1, and it's inexpensive. It's easy to make. You can have it mock almost any type of like ground meat.
Yeah, good point.
So like everyone just eat your lentils.
So I was staying at Stacy's house not long ago when we went to the conference together, and she always makes these incredible salads, and she's fantastic. And one of the things that she brought out was this packaged, pre-mixed, pre-cooked lentils. Stacy, remember? And you're like, if you
Yeah.
want some, just put some on your salad. And I did. And it was great. I was like, oh my God, I just got lentils. Like it can be that
They were
easy.
really good. Those are the ones from Whole Foods.
Yeah, I
Think
just
they're called
got some.
like Philos or Lilos or something. What are they
There's a different
called?
kind from mine. There's a different kind at
Oh,
my
okay.
Whole Foods.
They're like pre-cooked and seasoned. And you
Yes.
literally can just heat them up, or you can stick them in your salad or whatever, and they were
Yeah.
delicious.
You could eat them with chips if you really like some tortilla chips if you really wanted to. Melissa from Baked by Melissa, I forgot her last name.
Yes, I love her.
She will make these incredible salads, incredible things, and then she'll just eat them with tortilla
I know. I
chips.
just want her to make them for me. They're so good.
I know.
We should get her
Anyway,
on the podcast.
that would be so fun.
Anyways, digestible listeners, we just wanted to say thank you for joining us for this amazing year. It's been a wild ride as Missy and I grow and develop this podcast and try to find really unique and interesting content for you. We have a lot of really exciting things coming up for you in our next year. So
Yes.
stay with us and share us.
Thank you for listening to the Digestible Podcast. Stay tuned for more episodes where we invite the experts to bring you truly digestible and actionable pivots into your life. As always, we love hearing from you, so email us at info@digestiblestrategies.com. See you next time, and remember, don't panic, just pivot. The content shared on this podcast is for informational and entertainment purposes only. We are not medical professionals, and the views expressed here are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any health conditions. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider before making any health-related decisions.